Hey guys, welcome to the show. This is our Venture Brothers review series. This is episode 104, The Incredible Mr. Brisby. Let's just dive in here. So the plot of this episode basically is a parody of Disney World, Disneyland, specifically I think Walt Disney himself, the whole Disney empire, and the way that they come to do this is basically they've made him a Bond villain. And so there's a lot of Bond references in this episode. The prologue leads right into the general plot, which is the Venture family lands in Brisby land. And Venture has an appointment to see Roy Brisby, as we've just mentioned. He's this Walt Disney parody, extreme parody. And not only has he had a stroke, but he's very eccentric. Actually, I'm surprised they didn't do any jokes about, Disney's anti-Semitism or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
He's not like a white supremacist or anything like that.
No, he's just dying, and he wants Venture to clone him.
Yeah, he's interested in cloning. And so basically he's called Venture there to pry the information out of him. And Venture is not forthcoming. In fact, doesn't he claim ignorance?
I want you to clone me.
Cloning? I wouldn't know anything about that.
Like, I don't know. I don't know anything about that.
It turns out that Brisby worked with Venture's father. And Venture's father was the real genius, and he basically, Brisby's like, I want your father's notes, and Venture just gets, angry that this guy thinks his father's the genius, and that thinks he's, an idiot, and he just wants his father's notes, and so he just gets upset and says, no, I'm not going to help you. Like,
but the funny thing is, well, like Brisby himself basically calls Venture an idiot. He's like, he says he's not a real doctor. He never finished school. And since his father died, basically Dr. Venture's been running the company into the ground. That's why they always need money. And it's kind of funny in a way, because I think that Dr. Venture is smart, right? Like he actually... He's an inventor, and he's got technical know-how. So he did build brilliant.
Gardo. He built Gardo, and Gardo worked. He just hadn't finished him.
And in the pilot, he creates that Ure or whatever it is that sells for
It sells to the U.S. military.
Yeah, I guess
what did it do? I can't remember what it did.
It didn't. It melted the plastic model, but right?
Oh, it was just like a death ray.
I don't know. It's never made clear, but maybe that's one of the reasons they disregard the pilot, is because they made him too clever or something.
They made him too smart.
So Brisby, he has this pet panda, which ends up being part of the plot, and there's some good jokes related to it.
Manderley! Help me! I've come a flame again!
But he says that he won him in a wager with David Bowie. Is that right?
I think so. Yeah. Or David Bowie gave it to him. I think it was a bet, though.
Yeah, so Brisby ambushes... You think that Brisby ambushes the whole family, whereas he actually just kidnaps Dr. Venture to get the cloning secrets from him. And it's actually this liberation army that has kidnapped the boys. And it's kind of...
They wear oranges hats.
Yeah.
Because they're from the Orange County.
Basically, right? They're like a representation of real life Orange County residents who are sick of Disneyland.
Who hate Disneyland. Yeah. And they talk about, they're like, Brisby land has invaded Florida and invaded France, talking about, Disneyland France and Disney World. And yeah, they just hate everything about Brisby, and they want to kill him. Yeah, they want to kill him and destroy Brisby land.
Basically, yeah. And but the funny thing is they use the, what do they call it? The Brisby Club hats, right? The little hats with the antenna or whatever.
Right, yeah, because it's not
mind control.
Yes, yeah.
To brainwash the boys to join the Liberation Army.
Mm-hmm.
And as they joke, like a Patty Hearst kind of brainwashing.
Yeah.
But it's the hats, right? Aren't they the brainwashing hats?
Yeah, so clearly Brisby had made these brainwashing hats, and that's where like he wants to control everyone that's going to live in Brisby world.
So that's basically the main plot, except I guess the side plot would be that Brock is kidnapped by the first appearance of Molotov cocktease. Who ends up being his love interest really in the series. And it's kind of funny in this episode. They start trying to kill each other, basically, right? Or they're really clobbering each other. And then, like, in less than a minute, they kind of just tell their backstory, which I wrote down, which is they fell in love, and then Brock took her eye, and then she killed his partner, I guess his OSI partner.
Right.
And then he killed her father, and that's where they pick up here, which is why they're trying to kill each other, even though really they love each other.
And clearly, like they'd been a couple, or they tried to have sex like 10 years ago, and she wears a what do you call that?
Yeah.
a metal. Like, that's a name, right?
Yeah, we've seen that joke before, in other things.
What's
there's
it called?
A name. It's like the maidenhood protection, chastity belt.
Chastity belt.
Yeah.
But it's like legit metal over her.
Right.
Over her. And Brock is shocked that it's still there.
So, I mean, she's got to take that thing off every time she has to go to the bathroom, right?
Oh, God. Yeah, right. Yeah.
I think I'm pretty sure they used that joke in Robin Hood Men in Tights. I don't remember if that movie was before or after this. Probably before.
But, like, that's a joke, or like the extreme chastity belt, like that we've seen in comedies before.
The funny thing is, I don't think I've seen any kind of joke like that since, like this.
It's true.
Been like 20 plus years since anyone tried to use that joke again. Like it's just.
I think it might be out of
style.
Of
fashion.
Yep.
Dead, right?
Yep.
Okay. So Brisby ends up giving Dr. Venture true serum.
Mandalay!
No! Brock, come in,
And instead of giving secrets, he starts acting zany, right? He starts
quoting old movies.
And I'm not sure, I can't tell at this point if it's just because he is a moron and he's got nothing to say, or he's able to guard the secrets.
It's not explained. It's not explained why he starts to just pretend like he's in Sunset Boulevard.
We know later on in the series cloning comes into play.
Right, the boys are clones.
So, well, okay, spoiler alert.
Yeah, we only find out that
20 years later, spoiler
really,
alert.
we only find out that like they get killed in the season finale, and then they're fine season 2. And it's because they die all the time and they get cloned.
But that's not just it. There's more cloning throughout the show.
Yes.
At various points.
And it might even we might find out that like Dr. Venture is kind of a clone of his father.
Yeah, that's one of the things we were talking about before. We couldn't quite remember, so I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
So the episode climaxes with this liberation army invading the Brisby's dome, and again,
Which is
the
Epcot,
whole dome.
Epcot Center. Yeah.
It's all James Bond.
And so the Brisby minions that wear the little bee hats and the Orange County Liberation Front with their orange hats, they're just like slaughtering each other. And Brock and Cont'd show up to try to save the boys, but Cont'd's like, I'm not here to save them. I have a mission of my own.
And okay, I'm gonna say the best joke in this
I know you're gonna
episode
say.
was the bolt through the wrist.
Yes. Yeah.
So Dr. Venture's like falling down the dome along the wall.
Just like hundreds of feet.
Yeah. Brock has to keep shooting a bolt into the wall to save him from hitting the ground, and
it goes like through his hands,
Yeah.
like, you know, like clothes.
we
into the
don't
wall,
see. Yeah.
and you're like, oh, okay, he's safe, but like the clothes are ripping, and he starts to fall again. He shoots him again to stop him.
Listen, boys.
And we don't see where he shot him until like after the whole climax.
That's a really good payoff to the joke, because I wasn't expecting it. I was just, because the way it happens is that final bolt shot occurs off screen. You see, you hear Dr. Venture scream, and then Brock shoots the gun,
and it's like, oh, he's safe.
Yeah.
It's gone through the clothes again.
And I thought that was clever, just as far as animation goes, to save from having to animate it, right? It happens real quick off screen.
Right.
But then for the unexpected payoff of seeing him
Go Team Venture!
Yes, yes.
with the bolt through the wrist.
Right through here.
Yeah.
And he's got all this blood coming down. And he's like, I'm about to pass out.
There was another good joke which we didn't mention, was when the Venture plane takes off and Brock tries to summon Helper to return it.
He's programmed to come when we call him.
Oh, yeah.
And instead of doing that, Helper just jumps out of the plane, falls to the ground and dies or something. I don't know if he dies, but
I like how also Brock's using his like Dick Tracy communicator watch to like help her bring the plane back, return, and Helper just like, okay, and just jumps off.
Helper isn't a moron though, right? I mean, I guess maybe he's naive is the way to describe it.
Yeah, maybe he's just like a child. Maybe
he doesn't think it through.
Yeah. He's kind of has like the intellect of one of the boys. Really, right?
Yeah, to a degree. Although he feel like he ends up being more useful than the boys, you know?
Yes.
The boys just, they never save the day or anything.
No. I wonder if they do, like once.
Maybe. Okay, so The Incredible Mr. Brisby, how would you rate this? You can go first this time.
Well, I really liked it. I think I liked the one before it a little bit more, so I'm gonna say 8.5.
Okay, this one,
you're gonna give it a 4 or something.
This one, I don't know, for some reason it felt a little rushed to me again, but I really liked the introduction of Molotov and the way that they establish her as someone who'll be back as a character and everything. But so I gave the last episode a 6. I'm gonna give this one a 6.5.
Okay.
Maybe part of it is like, I'm pretty sure prior to this, The Simpsons had already done one of their best episodes ever, which is where Homer works for Hank Scorpio.
Oh,
the,
yeah.
the Bond villain, and they
Bond
do
villain.
that whole Bond.
He's
dome
such a great
invasion.
boss.
Yeah.
Like he's Homer's nicest boss.
So I feel like that the whole Bond part of this was a little played out, especially with Austin Powers coming out before this too. So that's maybe why I knock it down a little bit.
All right.
But anyway, I think, the season's been good so far.
It's ramping up for me. Yeah.
I think there's 12. I think there's 12 or 13 episodes in total.
Okay.
So we still got a ways to go.
Yeah.
But anyway, I hope that you guys are enjoying this as well. We'll be back with a future episode soon. Thanks for watching.